When you build a home with a family, they experience a newfound stability, and they can plan for a better tomorrow. At a Habitat build site, you are building more than a home. You are building stable neighborhoods and fostering relationships between people. To say families walk alongside volunteers and donors as they build their home, and to see them become connected to others, you are building community.
I've been told that I need an intervention, but I just can't help myself. And one time I helped some people put up a garage, and because I showed up with an apron, they thought I knew something and they put me in charge. Actually, I met Lori at a home builder show, and we chatted, and I knew about Habitat for Humanity. She invited you to live, and the second question is, well, what lake are you on? Because it seems like we're blessed with just an abundance of retirees here in the Alexandria area.
Families. Within 6 months, we were very busy. We helped build our own house. Scott and I each put in our 200 hours of sweat equity. Sophia became an independent walker, and Scott and I managed to pull off our wedding a week before closing on the house. By the time we moved in, we were a proud, very happy, more stress-free, but completely exhausted family. Being homeowners has been such a blessing. The most important thing for us was being able to provide our family with a safe, accessible home. Simple things became much easier. For example, carrying in groceries from our off-street parking spot. I used to wonder if I should carry Sophia in the house first or the groceries. With our attached garage, I was able to let Sophia out of the car and she could safely walk or crawl into the house. It was good for her, making her more independent, and was much easier on me. Without the stress of looking for an affordable home, we were able to focus on Sophia and her medical care. We were now driving a much shorter distance to work and Sophia's doctor and therapy appointments, and we were much closer to family who could help. It has also been great to have a yard for the kids to play in and grow a garden. Habitat for Humanity has lifted a lot of stress from our lives, and we are now able to focus on raising our children in a safe environment. We are blessed to have such a wonderful opportunity, and thank all of you for being a part of Habitat for Humanity. You have all helped to change our lives, and we are forever grateful.
My challenge to you today is this: believe that you can and do make a difference. Continue doing what you can, listen for God's voice, and obey. My personal experience regarding the generosity of this community began 8 years ago. I began working with students who were struggling academically, and I realized quickly that 2/3 of them were also struggling financially. It affects every aspect of their lives, including their education. Poverty creates an uneven playing field for students. My students worry about things most students don't have to worry about, like if there will be enough money in their lunch account. They also have to put on layers and layers of clothing to stay warm during the winter in their homes. Poverty can mean the burden of overtime work and multiple jobs just to make ends meet. This limits parents' interaction time with their children. Many of my students have raised their siblings or have been raised by their siblings while their parents work. A Habitat home has the potential to alleviate much of this stress. When housing income can be applied to other needs, everyone's lives improve. Initially, when I started working with these students, I would learn of a tough situation. My heart would break, and I would call my mom. I would ask her if she was willing to help me out with a student situation. I realized very quickly that there was way more need than she and I could handle alone. At about the same time, I got my students involved with the District 206 United Way campaign drive. While speaking to Jefferson High School staff, my students talked about their personal struggles. They are the names and the faces to the statistics that Lori mentioned earlier. One talked about the trailer he lived in, the pipes freezing and the holes in the floor. Another talked about her room being so cold that her blankets were frozen to the walls in the morning. One had lived in a place that the water was not drinkable. One didn't have a winter coat. Electricity had been shut off in many homes. One of the students said he collected his garbage in his garage because they couldn't afford garbage service. At this point, I had been teaching for 15 years, and I had been oblivious to how bad many of my students had it. These stories inspired a teacher to act. She went to her church with an idea to help my students. An angel tree was created. Members of that church have given hundreds of gifts over the past 8 years. The most common response I hear from students as they are receiving their gifts is, "Why would strangers care about me?" My response is always that they live in a very loving community. 2 years ago, my students started a food shelf at the high school. Since then, 9 churches, multiple businesses and service organizations, and countless individuals have donated money. This amazing community has donated over $15,000. One student wrote me a note that said, "Dear Mrs. K, my family has been receiving food since the beginning of my 11th grade year and continues to receive food. Because of the generous community I live in and their contributions to the Jefferson Food Shelf, my stress level has decreased immensely. If I had continued to have the burden of hunger in my family, I would still have that extra stress, still struggle from depression, and probably not have the promising future I have now." Her low grades are now A's and B's. She's enrolled at Alexandria Technical College next fall. Her family is currently completing the application process for a Habitat house. If a little bit of food from the Jefferson Food Shelf can have such a big impact on her, imagine what a safe and stable home will do. Thank you, Habitat for Humanity of Douglas County, for your vision. A world where everyone has a decent place to live, where families can grow, thrive, dream, achieve, and shine.
Sitting at the stoplight, can't be bothered by the heart cry written on the cardboard in her hands. Oh, but when she looks him in the eye, his heart is broken open wide, and he feels the hand of God reach out through him. It's heaven touching